Welcome, everyone. I'm so glad you've made the time to be here live or to watch this after the fact, if your schedule didn't allow for you to join us live. I'm Megan Sarah, UTA's Open Educational Resources Librarian, and this week is about opening doors, looking at how resources can be made more affordable, more adaptable, and more connected to the real lives of our students and faculty. Today is our trailhead, the very first step. Over the next few minutes, I'll share why this work matters and what we've already accomplished together and how you can be a part of this journey. So today we're celebrating something simple but powerful, making learning more accessible. I'll start with two quick observations that remind me why this work matters. When I tell students that many of their professors have replaced commercial textbooks with open and free ones, and they can actually search for them in MyMav, the reaction is usually disbelief and then excitement. It feels like possibility for them. And with faculty, I see something else. OER often reignites their passion for their discipline. Suddenly, they're not bound by a rigid textbook. They can shape, adapt, and create. That spark of excitement is contagious. That's why I see OER as a way to bring our community together, faculty and students side by side connecting through open possibilities. So what is OER, or what are OER? At its simplest, open educational resources are teaching and learning materials that are free to use and openly licensed so that you can adapt them. Think of it as more than free. It's freedom, freedom to teach differently, freedom to learn in ways that fit you. UTA invests in OER because it matches our mission: affordability, equity, and innovation. It's not just about lowering costs, it's about breaking those barriers to knowledge and creating new ways of learning together. So here's the reality that we're facing. For too many students, textbooks have become barriers instead of supports. When course materials are out of reach, students delay, drop, or struggle in their classes. And that's not a personal failing, that's the system putting students' success at risk. And the cost of textbooks, they've gone up. Since the late 70s, textbook prices have grown more than 500%, far outpacing general inflation. So that's decades of compounding pressure on students and their families. So we've noticed that spending has actually dropped in recent years, but that doesn't mean that the problem is solved. Students aren't saving money, they're sacrificing. They're skipping meals, they're piecing together free versions of things or going without textbooks entirely. And when they go without, learning suffers. That's the gap that OER fits and fills. By removing a cost barrier, we keep that focus where it belongs, on learning, access, and student success. And cost isn't just the only thing that is a benefit of OER. This is just our access point. So at UTA, the results are very real. In the past academic year alone, students have avoided spending $12.4 million on those textbooks. So in fall 2024, they avoided 5.7 million. In the spring of 2025, they avoided 5.4 million. And then this past summer, 1.3 million. So OER is impactful for students. They're getting to save money and have more access to learning and to the things that they need. That's money that has stayed in their lives for groceries, medical care, mental health, family support, additional classes. When course materials are free and accessible from day one, students succeed. A study in 2018 of over 21,000 students at the University of Georgia found that OER adoption raised grades and lowered the drop-fail withdrawal rates, especially for Pell eligible students. And with 40% of UTA students Pell eligible, this research underscores how immediate, lasting access can help keep our most vulnerable students in the classroom. So when we look at these challenges, the question becomes, what can we do about it together? And that's where our new OER Trailblazers program comes in. It's not only about celebrating OER, but about building a community of faculty and students who have the tools, recognition, and support to keep breaking down those barriers and expanding access. So this week marks both a relaunch of OER at UTA and the beginning of a new, more connected path forward together. The OER Trailblazers badge program is designed as your pathway into open education. Whether you're just starting out and curious, or you're ready to lead with OER, you'll find a place to start and tools and resources to get you there. So at OER at UTA has grown a lot since it started in 2017. In the early years, our approach was mostly centered on faculty, met one-on-one, offered workshops and knowledge within small groups of those early champions. That's what you see on the left side of the graphic. The OER team connected with individual faculty in those small groups, and we reached some students, but not a lot. On the right side, you see kind of where we're heading. We're moving toward a more balanced stakeholder approach where faculty, students, and staff and the broader community are all part of the ecosystem. Instead of relying on a handful of faculty interactions, our OER at UTA is now designed at scale across the whole campus. The Trailblazers badge program is our way of making that shift tangible. It gives everyone a clear, more sustainable path into open education. Through badges, there are now multiple ways to get involved, both self-paced and live options, so you don't have to wait for a workshop or a one-on-one appointment. There's always a place to start, and the program ties directly to UTA's mission. As a participant, you'll engage in hands-on activities like exploring OER repositories, reflecting on cost and access, how cost and access affect students, trying out remixing tools, sharing reflections and creations. These activities are designed to be useful right away and to build together larger skills in open education. And as you progress, you'll earn digital badges through Credly. Badges are more than just an image or an icon. They're credentials that you can showcase on LinkedIn, in Canvas, or your CV to recognize your engagement and leadership. All of this comes together into one program that's a more sustainable system of financial and human support for OER, stronger connections between students and faculty, and more ways to discover, use, and advocate for open education. So the program offers 2 tracks, one for educators, one for learners. Each track is tailored to your role, but they do share a common foundation. The badges recognize milestones along your OER journey, whether you're just exploring for the first time or integrating materials into a course or leading a change on campus. So when we look at our OER Trailblazer Educator badges, they're organized into 4 categories. We have discovery, and this is where you'll build your foundation. Maybe you just want to learn about the basics, try out repository search, or sketch out a project. These badges help you get oriented and kind of chart your path. Next, we have engagement, and this is where you start putting OER into action. You might review an open textbook, adopt OER for your course, adapt or remix materials to fit your students, or even create something brand new. Then we have community and storytelling or just community centered on, community and storytelling. This is centered on storytelling, reflection, and connection. You might share your OER journey, how you discovered OER, what you've been doing, the lessons learned, the growth points and strengths, highlight student voices, or participate in our open exchange events. This one's all about making OER visible and building a culture of openness. And finally, we have leadership. These badges recognize faculty who step up to mentor others or take on advocacy roles, shaping programs and policies, or even campus culture. There are a lot of ways you can move through these categories too. One path might be focusing just on adopting and adapting materials, starting a discovery, then earning that adopter, modifier, and eventually creator. Another path could lean more into the outreach and mentoring side. You begin in discovery and then move into storytelling and community, mentor, and advocate. What connects all of them is the professional value. Every badge comes with ready to use language for CVs, portfolios, annual reviews, and they're also tied to the ACRL framework for information literacy. That means that as you earn badges, you're not just supporting student success, you're also building recognized skills in information use, equity, communication, and leadership. When we look at our learner badges, the badges are organized into 5 categories that match the different ways students can get involved. First, we have awareness, where they are building a foundation. They'll explore what OER is, how licensing works, and practice evaluating resources. These badges help students get confident finding and using open resources. Then we have engagement. This is all about showing up and participating. They might attend an event, contribute feedback, or work with a faculty member or peers to shape projects. These badges recognize that growing involvement. Next, we have creation. When this is where students will actually build or adapt OER. Builder, designer, and innovator badges celebrate students who contribute handouts, study guides, designs, or even full-scale projects. The 4th category is storytelling and community. Because sharing their voice matters. Here, they will possibly create a short narrative about their OER journey, connect peers to resources, or even lead a campaign as an influencer. And finally, we have leadership and advocacy, where students step into organizing and mentoring roles. Presenter, organizer, and advocate badges recognize students who share their work publicly, lead initiatives, and amplify equity in education. Every learner badge is mapped to the NACE career readiness competencies, things like communication, teamwork, leadership, technology, and equity and inclusion. That means as learners earn badges, they're also building recognized career skills that translate to resumes, portfolios, and future opportunities. And just like the educator badges, they're connected to the ACRL information literacy framework, grounding their learning in critical thinking and ethical information use. So really, wherever you want to grow as a learner, skills, voice, creativity, leadership, there's a badge pathway designed to help you get there, or help students get there. So the Explorer badge is the very first step into OER for everyone in our Trailblazers program. It gives us as a community that shared starting point, no matter your role or experience level. In this badge, you'll work through three main pieces: an interactive book to guide your learning, a discussion activity where you'll connect with others, and a knowledge check just to make sure the key ideas stick. Every badge in the program asks you to reflect, discuss, and share what you've learned, but how you do that will vary. Sometimes it'll be a short quiz-style assessment. Sometimes it'll be a piece of evidence with your reflection, a summary, and other times it might be something that you create. The Explorer badge introduces you to that rhythm: learn, practice, and then show your learning. As you move through and into other badges, those learn and practice activities will shift to match the specific badge, the knowledge it's building and the skills it's designed to strengthen. The Explorer badge is everyone's foundation, and from here you can branch off into whatever direction makes sense for your OER journey. And of course, you won't be doing this alone. Our OER team is here to support you, me, your OER librarian. I have 2 amazing OER graduate research assistants, and of course the full support of the OER and Digital Scholarship Department here at UTA as a whole. We're here to help you make sure that what you need to succeed, that you have what you need to succeed, and to connect you with others on the same journey. So to wrap everything up, the Trailblazer program is our way of giving everyone at UTA a clear, flexible, and meaningful pathway into open education. It connects directly to student success, professional growth, and the value of equity and access that guide our work. So if you're ready to dive in, here are some next steps you could take. Bookmark the new OER subject guide. It's always growing, so check back often. Check out today's activities in the module on the launch page. There's a little tab for the engagement activity that's built right in there for you. The recording for this webinar will also be in that little module as well. You can also go ahead and start your OER journey by joining the badge program. You can begin now or anytime. And before we close, another exciting bit here. Our OER Journeys documentary project is ready to begin sharing episodes. We started this work back in spring 2024, partnering with UTA faculty and our library's marketing team to capture real stories of open education in action. It's been a long road of filming, editing, and polishing, and now the first episodes are ready to roll out as we finalize them. We can't wait for you guys to see and share the stories that bring the impact of OER to life. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our team. We're here to help. But if there are any questions right now, I would love to answer them. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining or watching later. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow.